Hey crafters! Welcome back to my channel Because I'm Crafty. My name's Katelyn and today I'm showing you my handmade summer dress. If you guys haven't heard about the handmade summer dress challenge, it is being hosted by Andréanne from The Minimalist Approach and Lisa from And So On YouTube and Instagram. So all you have to do for this challenge is make a summer dress, post it on social media with the hashtag handmadesummerdress, and tag Andréanne and Lisa, and I'll list their Instagram handles here as well as down below in the info box. You can also head over to Instagram to check out more pictures of my dress, and I'll also link their information as well. So I'm going to show you my handmade summer dress, and I used a free pattern, so if you want to download it, it's super easy to find. It is a little bit more of an intermediate level sew, just because there are no instructions unless you purchase the magazine that it came out of. I didn't do that. I was able to put it together myself, but it turned out really well, and I again chose to step out of my comfort zone color-wise, and I am absolutely in love. So I have been working with this fabric as my basis for a small capsule wardrobe, which I will be talking a little bit more about soon. But these are the colors inside this fabric. This is a stretch cotton that I bought in Rwanda on my last trip, and I haven't even cut into it at all. And I just love the bright colors in here. You've got green, orange, purple, pink, and black and white, which is easy to offset all those bright colors. So that's what I'm basing my capsule wardrobe off of color-wise, and so that's why I chose this green for this summer dress. I definitely would never normally choose this color or choose green really in general, but I forced my boyfriend to come with me to Fabricland, and he said to me, "You have all those colors, you know, the pink and purple, you have lots of that already. Black and white is kind of a cop-out because they're neutral, and I couldn't really find any of the orange color that was in that fabric." And he said, "You have a puke green colored coat and you look great in it." And he's right. His dad actually gave me that coat, and it is exactly what he called it. It's a puke green, but it looks awesome on me, and every time I wear it I always get compliments. People always ask me if I've made it. I'm like, no, I didn't. But it's an awesome coat. I'll take a picture of it and leave it up here. But I love that jacket, and he said, like, "You look great in that color, so why not go for the green? Just go for it. Step out of your comfort zone and do it." So I did, and I'm so happy that I did. I love how this turned out, and I'll show you some full shots. So please excuse my very messy table. I'm not even going to show you the other side of the room because it's a disaster right now. But this is the Emily shirt dress from Love Sewing magazine. It's one of the free patterns I downloaded a while ago, and I also talked about it in my free PDF pattern video. I will link it down below as well, but super easy to find. But I think if you have a pattern for a blouse, button-up blouse, you could totally pull this off. If you have something with a pattern that has side pockets in it, you can pull off the pockets. So just depending on what you already have in your pattern collection, I think you could pull this off without needing the instructions. But again, depending on your sewing level. So I went with this green polka dot cotton, and it is see-through, so I went with a just plain green cotton liner. They're both beside each other on the rack at Fabricland, so I got them together. The outer one I believe was on sale for $5 a meter, and the inside fabric that I used was on sale for $4 a meter. So I believe I got 3 meters each. One, because I didn't know how much this pattern was going to take. I didn't think it would take more than 2, but I thought since I have that fabric and I want to make some pants out of it, I thought making a blouse out of it would be really nice as well, so I did buy extra. So what did I change about this pattern? So I cut out the size 12. It comes with a placket. Here, I'll get close so you can see the buttons here. It does come with a placket here, so you can have some covered buttons. I chose to opt that out because I like buying pretty buttons and having them show off. So I've got some little flowers here, and they've got like a little jewel in the middle. And I thought because of the kind of like squiggly lines it's got going on, it would match that other fabric that I've got as well. So that's the front. It's got a standard stand collar and your outside collar. And so the top is pretty easy. It's got princess seam lines in the front and the back. So those are pretty simple. And I did do the side seam pockets. I probably would make them a little bit deeper and bigger. I did cut them bigger, but I would even make them bigger than the pattern says to. So that's one thing. I did understitch the front side of the pocket so it's turned in nicely. And I did cut the skirt a little bit bigger because I just like the look of a bigger skirt. I did the tie the same as the pattern said. The other thing I did different was that it called for a sleeve, and since it is a summer dress, I thought I could do a sleeve out of this outer fabric since it is see-through, but I also want to make a jacket out of that fabric, and so I thought if I had a full sleeve, and since it's cotton it would get really wrinkly underneath, so I just opted for this kind of little ruffle detail, and it just matches up with each of the princess seam lines in the front and the back. So it just gives a little bit of detail, but it's still very light and summery, so it will never get too hot or anything like that. And the bottom, if you can see here, I did cut the outer fabric longer and the liner shorter, so there is kind of a little bit of a rim going around where it is see-through. That is the front and the back. And I paired it with these little ballerina flat shoes. I love these flats, they're so cute and comfortable. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It was a pretty easy make. The pattern is not lined originally, so I did have to do a few adjustments in determining how to insert the lining and sew it in because of the side seam pockets and because the outside is see-through. I didn't want to just attach my pockets and then have, you'd be able to see the pocket on the outside. So I actually made the lining like a regular lining except when it came down to the side seams. So at the side seams I sewed it together from here to the bottom of the pocket, so the outside and the inside together. So my seam is actually like on the inside, whereas it's not facing outward like a normal lining would. And then from here, I clipped my outer fabric and I have it coming out here so that the skirt is separate. If you have your kind of skirt pieces attached all the way down, sometimes it can get stuck and move around funny. So at least it is separate at the bottom there, but you can see it is a fairly wide skirt. But again, I did kind of cut the pieces bigger at the bottom, so pretty much from the waist down I did cut them bigger. I probably also could have cut out the size 10, but I did cut out the size 12 just in case, because I'm always afraid of making something too small. But I did sew it with the 1.5 centimeter seam allowance that it said, so about 5/8. Had I gone with the 10, I probably could have sewn with a 1/2 inch seam allowance and been totally fine. So that's something I will just keep in mind for next time. But other than that, I really didn't make any other adjustments to this pattern. I think the only thing that was weird with one of the pattern pieces was under the arm. So your side front and side back, where it came together at the side seam, it kind of goes out like this. And I'm not sure if that's to accommodate a bigger bust. I'm not quite sure, so I just kind of sewed it straight up from the waist. So it ended up being like a 1-inch seam allowance here and 5/8 down here. So just something to keep in mind with that pattern piece. It just kind of flared out at the top and didn't come up more straight. So depending on how you are under the arms and your bust and everything, that might be something to adjust. But other than that, it fit really well, and I was actually really surprised because usually when I'm making something from a pattern, I always have to adjust something. I'll show you what it looks like with the belt off. And the pattern does come with a belt piece. But you don't really need it. You can cut whatever size rectangle you want. So it is a bit big in the waist. Like I said, I probably could have gone with a size 10. But I think with the belt, it kind of makes it. But if you don't want it with the belt, then I would suggest cutting your pieces to make sure that it fits your waist. So that is my handmade summer dress. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and make sure to check out that pattern. I will link it down below. I am really happy with how it turned out, and I'm glad I went for the green, even though it's something I never would have chosen. Just, it's really cute with the polka dots. So make sure to enter this challenge. It's super easy. Just make a dress tag the hosts, Andréanne and Lisa, and they will enter you into the giveaway from gracious sponsors who have partnered with them. And make sure to check out the other ambassadors who will be posting their dresses in the next week or two. And then you have until May 21st, I believe, for the end of that. So you have lots of time. You have the entire next month to make a summer dress. And what a perfect time to make one, as it is starting to get warmer out there. After last weekend's, the weekend before, I think it was last weekend's crazy ice storm we had here. It was crazy. I think I spent 3 separate days trying to get out of my driveway for 40 minutes. It was insane. And then now today, I think it's like 14 degrees out or something like that. It's really warm. Almost all the ice and snow is melted now, so it's starting to look like spring. So I'm super happy to have a fun new dress to wear, and yeah, I'm super excited. So I hope you guys enter this challenge and giveaway. It's going to be so much fun to do. I can't wait to see all your makes. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time, crafters. Bye!